Hey guys, it's me again, Amy with Rags and Stitches. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope that you're finding some helpful videos. Today I want to go over a few things that are very beginner level. So this is beginner level. This is just, we're going to go over the parts of the sewing machine, and we're going to go over materials and supplies you might can pick up that come in real handy when you are sewing as a beginner. Again, this is beginner level. Okay, so let me start with one thing. Before we go into the parts of the machine, I want to go into some little supplies that are helpful. This right here is really helpful for me. Now, not everybody uses pens. You see with a lot of the younger girls today that are sewing, they're using the clips. I don't like the clips. I like the pins because you can pull them as you're sewing and put them on your wrist, toss them. Well, sometimes I toss them to the side, but this comes in handy. It's a little wrist sewing, and you can make one for yourself. You can get one of these little plastic bracelets and stick it on there. Somebody made this, as you can see. I picked it up at the thrift store. This is really handy. No, actually, I believe a friend gave this to me. Actually, a friend gave this to me. That's right. This here, you can see my pin sticking out of it. It really comes in handy. If you're doing a seam, for example, if you're sewing a seam and you have pinned it previously and ironed it and pinned it and it's all straight and you have the pins in, say, in a certain direction as you're sewing, you can pull it out, stick it here, and boom, keep going. And that's what I really like about it. Also, if you're working out of different rooms of the house, I go into the kitchen to cut and pin on one of my big tables. So it's really helpful. You're not running back and forth. You have the pins here. You take them, put them in, pull them out, put them back. So I really like this. And it's a sewing, I call it a sewing pad bracelet. It's really, what do you even call these? I don't even know. But it's got foam inside and you can stick them in. It'll come to me. A pin cushion. Thank you. It's a sewing bracelet pin cushion. Comes in handy. Okay. Anyway, that's one thing. You are going to love your thread cutters. These are better than any pair of scissors I have, really. I mean, you need the scissors too. But as you're sewing, to cut your thread, this gets really close to where the thread stops in your fabric, and you can cut it. And it's super sharp. You're going to need one of these. You're also going to want a variety of pins, or if you choose to use clips, you can use clips. A lot of girls use clips. If you're working with thick fabric, that's what that's good for. I don't use those with all my sewing that I do. I do mainly smaller scale right now. So I just get the small pins or the ones like you saw before. I picked these up. And as you can see, that I ordered these off Amazon. They have little butterflies, little sun, different colors. So you kind of know, okay, this is the top, this is the middle. You could color code it if you wanted. I also purchased this pin cushion on Amazon. However, you can make your own. I also made my own. So those are some items you're going to need. When you're hand sewing, which I hand sew, you're going to need thimbles. Okay. I've seen videos where they're like, they need to fit a certain way or whatever. I don't really worry about that. As long as it can help me push that needle through the thread, through my layers. Because normally if I'm hand sewing, it means my machine can't handle the layers. So I need a thimble to kind of help push it through. So you're going to need a couple of thimbles. You can get any kind. Some of your sewing kits you buy come with these that have just a hole where you can just do like that, or you can get the one for the tip of your finger. These come very much in handy. You're going to need a seam cutter, and I have several of these. I have big, small, all of them. They come like this. They're a seam cutter. You put them under the thread and you can rip out a seam. And these are you'll use this constantly. I think I have several colors. I think I have a larger one as well. Yeah, I have a couple of them. Yeah, here's a larger one and another one here. So I have many of these. Those are great. They come in handy. You're going to need some spare needles for your sewing machine so that you can replace them. I have not done a video yet on how to replace your needles. We will do that. I just replaced mine recently. And as soon as it's time for that again, I'm going to show you that. You're always going to want also a hand sewing kit because there's certain times where your machine is going to be not able to do certain things. And I have a serger that I haven't used yet. It's a Singer serger. It was given to me and I can't wait to, it's got to be oiled and clean and I'm going to learn how to use it. And then we'll be doing some videos with the serger. I don't use it yet. So we're still beginner. Okay. So here's my little hand sewing kit that I keep with me. I have thread everywhere. Well, I think we'll cut that. Thank you. I've got stuff everywhere. I've been working. Okay. So in my kit, you can see I have a lot of stuff. I don't need that container in there, but I have a lot of stuff. I have another pin cushion, a tomato pin cushion. I have tape measures, which is another tool you're going to need. All shapes and sizes. I have small, I have big. You know, some people put them, you know, I have them hanging all around the room. When you're sewing, you can keep it around your neck like this so that you can, you know, make sure that your measurements are right. I also have this type, the pull, which I love. Love this. Needles, threads, thimbles. You can get plastic thimbles as well. Everything you need in here for your little sewing kit. Various needles. Because sometimes you run into projects where you're just not going to be able to get through that fabric or get in certain corners, or you might have to repair something, or you may just want to sew it by hand, sew on a patch or something like that. So for those kind of things, you're going to find it handy to have a little hand sewing kit to the side. What else might you need? A lot of people have the wall mounts. I haven't graduated to that yet. I have these containers that I found at Dollar Tree for $1.25. They are great. They're little containers. I put the bobbins, the thread, and they're stackable. And I stack them over here. To me, it's easy. You just pull it out. And there's your thread. So I have a bunch of those stacked up over here in the corner. I think you might be able to see them. Hold on. Can you see them? Yeah, right here. This is them. They're stacked up. Okay, now for some more tools you might need. Number one, you're going to need some seriously strong, sharp sewing scissors, fabric scissors. You also might want some pinking shears. I have those as well. These are the old-fashioned kind. They're very heavy duty. You may also want a rotary cutter. I think I went into this in another video. I want a better rotary cutter. This one does not work good. I got it off Amazon and I've been using my scissors because it just doesn't work good for me. You're going to need rulers, all different sizes, all different shapes. I've got all kinds. Rulers, you can get those on Amazon. Most of this you can find on Amazon. Now, at night with your machine, you're going to want to cover it. Let's get an angle there with the machine. You're going to want to cover your machine at night because you don't want dust to get all on it, okay? So I made myself, but you can buy one if you want, or you can make yourself one when you get really good. I made myself a mini cover. And so at night when I'm done sewing, I just put it on and it slips right on and it stays like that. In the morning, I just slip it off. So that is something you will need to keep dust from getting on your machine. Now, I also keep a glue gun handy because sometimes you might need to use your glue gun. So I keep glue sticks handy and a glue gun. I don't have a fancy one. I just have one of those cheap ones that you get at the dollar store. Eventually, I'm going to get a better one. Right now, that'll do. We've covered pens. I have a little bulletin board that I keep up just to hang ideas and stuff on. I have not started with patterns. Eventually we will do patterns, but, um, obviously we're still beginner. So we haven't graduated to that yet. Let's see, what else did I want to go over? Tools. I think that's pretty much it. That's all basically you need. Um, you know, needles, threads, buttons, safety pins. You will need some safety pins if you're going to do elastic. But right now we're not into that yet. So I do have some and I have elastic for that. Now, fabric. You can use any fabric. This is the great part of sewing. You can use sheets. You can go to the thrift store. You can buy sheets. You can buy blankets. Cut them up. Old clothes. Whatever tickles your fancy. You can get fabric. If you want to do mini squares, you can go and buy the fat squares. I buy some of those because they are great for rag rugging. So I do have the fat squares. You can buy jelly rolls. Let me explain what jelly rolls. I love jelly rolls because they're already cut like this with pinking shears. They're all in a roll, different types. You get a variety. I'll give you an example. Like these were all in the same roll. They're long strips, okay? Very long strips. If you want to put a border on something, these are quick and easy. You can put the fabric in between, fold it up, and you've got your border around the bottom of your whatever you're sewing. If you want to make just a little embellishment on a linen, you can just put the strip and sew it down at the bottom because the edges, look how cute. They've got the little pink and shoe edges, and it gives it that rustic look. So jelly rolls. Now, my problem with jelly rolls, they're just expensive. I mean, you get enough for your money. They're usually at least 10 to 20 bucks, depending on what you're getting. Most of them run around 15 to 20, but you get a lot of these in there. I mean, it's a big jelly roll of fabric. They're all rolled up. I'm actually running low on jelly roll right now, but I like fat squares too because you can, cut the strips. But okay, so you'll need fabric. Like I said, any fabric will do. Cotton and linens, and those are the easiest to, in my opinion, to learn on. And we're learning right now, so we're beginners here. So with us learning, we really want to stick with very easy to use fabrics, easy to work with. We're going to, in the next few days, we'll make an apron, but we'll go into that. We're still doing the pillows, and I'm going to show you some more pillow techniques that we will work on as well. So I think we've got you started. That's the supplies. And of course, if you get a machine. So let's move on to the parts of the machine really quickly. Now I have a video already on some of this. So we're just going to go over just the basic parts of the machine. The machine, when you get it, if you get the mini machines, they all come with a foot paddle, which is on the floor here, which I'm sure you know what that looks like. But anyway, it plugs into the back of the machine. And then you have your cord that plugs into the back of the machine, your power cord. Now, so that's a no-brainer. Let's plug in the machine. Well, I'm not going to plug it in. I'm just going to tell you. It has a light. When the machine is on and plugged in, it has a light. The light shines right here, okay? You never want your machine on when you're threading your needles. You don't want it plugged in. So you unplug it. Even if you run out of thread in the middle of a project, I unplug it, plug it, thread it, and then plug it back in. You just don't want the chance for that to go through and impale your finger. It would not be pleasant, and I'm sure very painful. All right, so let's go through these different bits on this mini sewing machine. What I love about these is they're easy easy to understand. They're like so beginner, and I love it. So you have your, of course, your needle here. Then you have your your knob here where you turn it to replace the needle, which we will do in a separate video. But there's a knob here for the needle. This is where the needle goes into here with this little knob that turns to release it or put it in. Okay. It's tight around there. All right. Then as you go down in the back of the footer here, in the back of this here, on the other side is a latch to release your footer. This is called the footer. This little thing that moves around is called a footer. I told you it's going to be beginner level. So I'm explaining because nobody did this to me, for me. This is a footer. And there's a latch behind here that releases it. It will drop off and you can just snap it back on. Okay. So there is a lever in the back for that. You can see it right there. Okay. I'm not going to release it right now because I only have one footer. You can buy a pack of footers, different various types. There's like millions of different types for like, there's a walker one. There's all these different types, which I plan to get eventually. And we'll do a video on that, but I haven't bought any yet. I've been using just a regular standard footer. Okay, so there's the footer. Then down here, of course, you saw earlier in the previous video is your bobbin. That's your bobbin. That's the thread that goes underneath the material. And the thread that goes through the top is the one that's through your needle. Okay. Down here is a little measuring. This is very handy. If you've got your fabric on here and you don't have a magnet guide, which I haven't purchased that yet either. They make these little magnets to guide your fabric for your seams to be straight. But you can line them up with the number. And so usually mine lines up with the number 5 and I keep it there, or 4. So, all right, over here we have of course, your speeds. I don't really use this a lot. It scares the heck out of me because it goes too fast. If I'm sewing, and I'm not sewing big projects where I have like a long, to leave it on. So I rarely use low or high here. I keep it on off and use the foot pedal. You must have it on off to use the foot pedal. So I keep mine off. Next, this is your reverse switch. Reverse stitch. When you start a stitch, you always push this reverse and then start stitching with your foot pedal. So you'll press the foot pedal with this down first and then you release it. That is your back stitch. When you end a row, you push it, back stitch, and then release it. Okay, so that's your back stitch. You can also turn with it. I don't quite know how to do that. I just turn my fabric with the needle down in the fabric and turn it, which we'll learn that later. This is your knob that is your setting for what stitch you want, what setting you want it on. Number 8 is just for buttonholes. Okay, then I think number 7 is as well. But I mainly use 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't use these much. I use 9, 10, 11, and 12. Those are mainly the ones I use. To get to the setting, you're going to turn your knob, which is located here. When I first got this machine, I thought it had buttons you push, and I was like, why isn't anything happening? Because you turn the knob. That's another thing that nobody showed me. So you have to turn the knob to get your setting. I want number 1, turn to number 1. I want number 7, turn to number 7. You get it. This is from what I understand, I've never moved it. And I need to watch a video on this, but this is for they call it your tension. The tension. I keep it on number 5. Most people I watch on video keep it on number 5. I don't really see any need to move it. I'll watch and tell you guys later if I find otherwise. This, of course, is your directions on where to thread everything. Let's pull this part up. This is your lever. I just call it a lever where you thread through, which we already know that. Up here has to do with your thread. The spool holder, which has the lid to go over it. If you're not using that and you're sewing from the back with a big roll of thread, I just lay it right here so I can sew with it. This is all where you're feeding it. This is your bobbin winder. and your knob. So I think we covered it all. Now, I hope that helped you, because a lot of times you get on video and nobody really shows you. I mean, they walk you through it fast, but they don't really show you the bits and pieces. And I hope that I did that, because it would have helped me if I would have. I actually I managed to find one YouTube channel. And I wish I could remember the name of the girl, but she really taught me through how to get this on there. And do your research, use YouTube, and it will help you in so many ways. All right, guys, I think we covered everything, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped you, and I'll see you next time on Rags and Stitches. Please hit like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye, guys. Happy sewing.